Alright, so here's the mission. I gotta get that tub up those stairs by myself onto that deck. So we'll truly see if one person can manage this tub, or if I'm gonna either roll it on top of myself and kill myself, or let it roll all the way down to the lake. We'll see. It's minus 10 out right now, which is 14 Fahrenheit. So minus 10 Celsius and 14 Fahrenheit. So it's March break, and we're in the middle of this COVID insanity. So the kids have 3 weeks off school. They're going to probably spend a week up here with their mom, and that's why I want to set up the tub now, because winter hot tubbing is one of the most funnest things in the world, especially up here. Too cold to do this without gloves, even for Canadian. Okay, so as you saw, I got it up here without serious bodily harm. Obviously, if you've got some help, 2 people managing this thing would be better than 1. But we're going to carry on now. A couple of concerns I have right off the bat is that a lot of water came out of this box as I was rolling it up, and it could be because it sat outside for about a week through some freeze thaws. It could be just that snow fell on it or water dripped off of this deck onto it. And there's no real internal piping that you have to worry about. That's what you worry about, is pipes and things like pumps freezing and bursting. The pump was inside, so that's not an issue. And even if this thing did freeze with water in it, most likely nothing much would happen. We'll see. Okay, so just taking a look at the box, and you can see it's kind of self-explanatory, right? It's fragile, okay to roll, no hooks, no forks, no knives. So you see up here, it's just telling you to écarter le rabat supérieur pour ouvrir, which means peel back, top flap to open. We love to be bilingual on this channel. Okay, so there you go. The box peeled off just like a big fat cardboard orange. And there's the color I chose was topaz to match the siding of the place here. And let's take our first peek underneath, shall we? Oh, yeah. Nice. So there's the filter. There's spots for a couple jets. And hey, instructions. Looks like there's a little spot for you to sit down there too. Little ledge. That's kind of nice. It has a new hot tub smell. Breathe it in. Oh yeah, it smells like new hot tub. Or as my friend would say, her dad called it a herpes pool. Okay, so here's a look at what comes with the tub as far as instructions and such. That thing there is an insulator to cover the pipe that runs from the pump to the tank. Good set of instructions. I'm pretty impressed by this. Usually the instructions are barely readable or understandable. It comes with a quick setup guide that you can use there if you want to pump it in pretty quick, get it going really quick. And it comes with these safety straps, which is kind of neat. You lay these safety straps down on the ground in a crisscross pattern before you install the tub. Then you sit the tub on top of the straps. The straps come up and tie into the lid of the tub. And the lid of the tub has a combination. Never seen this before. So the actual latches have a combination code. That way you can actually theoretically lock your tub, right? So that people can't open the lid unless they have the combination. I think that's really handy. Good thing to have for child safety, and a good thing to have in party town like a cottage, because often people will decide to continue to party in your tub long after you want them out, or strangers will come to your tub. So I'm going to read through the instructions. I pretty much know how the setup happens. I'll get ready to set up after a cup of coffee. I'm going to lay these straps out in a crisscross pattern where the hot tub is going to sit. I might make a little change of plans in the strategy where I'm going to put this thing, because this is how you're going to drain the tub, and I will be draining the tub this week when I leave for sure. I don't want to drain the tub with all the water pouring out right next to the house. So for this first install anyway, I'm going to move it out to there, and that way the water will drain over the side of the tub, or closer to the side of the deck. And again, it means for now people could be walking across this cable, which is not a good plan, so I will adjust that in the future. Now, one thing that I want to think of when I'm laying out this cross is where the lid is going to end up. You see the lid fasteners here? They have to line up with the crisscross, right? So I want to make sure the lid is oriented this way. So I'll have to make it so that the cross orients with this. Oriented more like that. So I want the cross to match the positioning of these things. You dig? You follow me? Okay, so I got my crisscross straps in place there, in position. And now I'm going to remove the lid and just get it off to the side. I'm going to drag the tub over to where I'm going to install it for the most part, because most of the drag can be covered with the cardboard that you see down there. But I wouldn't drag it over the floor because you're going to puncture the vinyl, right? So I'll drag it to where I think it's still on the cardboard, and then I'll figure out how to wriggle it safely into position without dragging it across this wooden deck, because one sliver could puncture right through the darn thing. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with its positioning now. Go get the chippy. Go get the chipmunk. He never gets the chipmunk. But he tries. Where's the chippy tower? Where's the chippy? Where'd he go? Oh, good fun at the cottage. So, this is the positioning for now. Now, a couple things I'm worried about right off the bat is the proximity of the edge of the hot tub to falling over the deck. So, having kids on board here, I have no doubt they'll want to get out of the tub, sit on the edge of the deck, and it's at least a good 12-foot fall to their death underneath on both sides. So if I do make this the permanent place for the hot tub, I will build up a barrier there, maybe just a seat back so they can actually sit there and not fall over. Now it's time to start filling up the tub, or actually making the connections here, which should be dirt simple, and then filling up the tub. Okay, so here you got 4 connections to make. And I dread making them, but I'm going to make them. It's going to work out all right. This one here is air hose going in and out. This is your, one of these is water in and one of these is water out. It doesn't really matter to me which one. And here, looks like this is electrical for lights. So 3 connections to make. I'll slide the connectors onto these tubes before I fit them. These are always easier to do when it's warm. It's freezing out, so they might not be too happy to go together. And this tub is incredibly light. My goodness, it was easy to, once you got rid of the box and all the water in the box, it was so easy to move this thing, which is going to make it more difficult to push this against there because there's going to be no resistance. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll get her done. Okay, here goes nothing. So when you're putting these straps on, connectors, I don't know what they're called, you always slide it over the tube first before you put it on. If you don't, and it's an emergency, it's not that big a deal. You just basically loosen it up all the way, release it, and then you can slide it back in and tighten it up. So it's not that big a deal. You get your driver handy, and we'll see how she goes. Let's see how this thing comes. Let's just adjust you a little bit so that you're closer and you can see. There. Okay. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that, you see how you have to access the nut? You always want to have it ended up in a place where you can easily access it. Now there's so many times I've put these on and put them on down there or over there and they're hard to access. You just need to make sure they end up in a place where you can reach them okay. It sounds like common sense, and I guess it is, until you forget to do it and then you're an idiot. Okay, let's see. Going in pretty good. Looks like the air one is the toughest one to get in, but they're all going in pretty okay. Okay, they're all going in pretty easily except for this air one. What I can do, I'm going to keep at it, but if it gets to be too much of a problem, like if I can't get these hoses right against the tub and feel that I've got a good connection on them, then what I'll do is just boil some water and bring it out and pour it over it. I guarantee you that will make it go on easier. But let's keep working at it, just because I'm a glutton for punishment. Interesting, they give you one clamp for the air hose, but the air hose doesn't come with a clamp installed, so I'll have to see if that loses air there. You see that? Take a look here. See, it comes with a clamp that they give you. This one, that's the one I installed, but there's no clamp here. All the other ones do have clamps installed already, see? Okay, so I've boiled some water here, and I'm just going to pour it over the connections to make it easier to push in. And again, I want to try to get these hoses almost, if not all the way to the wall here. That's my goal. We'll see if we can reach my goal here. Maybe I'll do it so you can see. Doesn't take much to warm them up, but I'll do one at a time here. Okay, let's see if we can get that moving. Yeah, it's going. A little more. Okay, so we made the connections here. And again, I wasn't able to get the pipes as deep as they needed to be. But because this is a temporary connection, a temporary installation, we'll go with that. If it leaks a bit, I'm not too concerned about it. We're just going to run the tub for a few days and then drain it. Now what you got to do is start off with warm water. I connected this straight to my hot water tank. So I'm pumping full bore home hot water in. It's not going to be an issue because it's still about, what do we got here? Let's see what the temperature is. It is, oh, we've warmed up to about 5 degrees Celsius, about 40 Fahrenheit there. So it's cold enough that things aren't going to freeze, but you need warm water at the beginning when you do the install. Because what they ask you to do is they ask you to take these wrinkles in the tub. You see this? Let's see if I can get this in here. You see the wrinkles in the bottom of the tub? They ask you to just kind of move them off to the side. You see that? Flatten them out. And you do that before the full weight of the water hits the bottom of the tub. You get all the wrinkles out. You see that one right over there? Get all the wrinkles out. Because once the full weight of the water gets on the tub, you won't be able to move those wrinkles out. So we'll move those wrinkles out, then we'll keep filling it up. We need to fill up to about 5 centimeters, maybe about 3-4 inches above those jets. As we start filling it up, we'll treat the water as well to kind of shock treat it and get it chlorinated. This is lake water right here, so it's clean, but it's going to be kind of greenish. We want nice, clean, sparkling water with no algae in it. We get it up above that the top jet, then we plug her in and see how she goes. Okay, so we got the warm water moving into it. We've removed all the wrinkles from the bottom. I can't see a wrinkle, can you? Anyway, it's really easy to do, and you can see I've already treated the water, so I gave it like a double dose of chlorine. 2 tablespoons should be more than enough for this tub. They say do not use bromine. If you use bromine, it invalidates the warranty. So I'm going to figure out how to remove this filter there. I didn't see many instructions on how to do that, but they say to remove the filter first and soak it in hot water for 15 minutes. So I'm going to try to do that next and then just let her heat up. Once we get above the highest jet, we'll plug it in and we'll worry about the rest. Nice sunny day out here. So I didn't put the lid on because I think the sun is actually going to warm these dark sides and bottom of the tub, and that will provide more warmth than keeping the lid on top. Just my opinion. We'll see. Here we are continuing to fill up the tub. You can see we've worked all the wrinkles out. One thing that I want to talk to you about is this filter here. You see the filter right down there? Well, if your filter is not already attached, they ask you to soak it in warm water for 15 minutes. They also ask you not to remove or install it until it is warm, at a warm temperature. And it kind of makes sense because it probably has to expand to the right size to make the seal properly, etc., etc. So I haven't removed it because it was installed already, so it shouldn't be a problem. Now we're just going to let this baby fill up, and then once the level gets about 5 centimeters or about at least 3 inches above that top jet, we'll turn her on and see what happens. Now I haven't put the lid on, and the reason why I haven't is because the sun is shining on this inside liner, which is dark, so it is very warm. It's almost hot. It is hot to the touch. So I think that will help it stay warm much more than just trying to keep the thermal heat from the water up. That water's coming right from the lake. So it's barely, and you can see what the lake is doing. There ain't no water, it's frozen, right? So the water is just below or just above the freezing mark. So I think it's going to get more thermal help from the sun hitting this beautiful warm liner than it is putting the lid on. Just my call, but it's cold to the touch. It's going to take a long time for this to warm up, but we'll see how long it takes. We're almost ready to plug this baby in. Okay, so here's a moment of truth. We filled the tub up to the right level, as you can see here. A few inches above the top jets. Now we're going to plug it in and turn it on and see what happens. So here's the plug, and you can see it's connected to a pretty nice GFI here. I will do a test and a retest and a reset, just not now. I'll do that after the plug has been in and the tub has been running for a while. So let's see what happens. Again, with regards to that plug-in, you got to make sure that that is a dedicated line. And there she goes. She's running. Wow, look at that. You don't have to turn it on. Turned it on itself. So you can see it's asking for heat there. You see the heat light on? Let's see if I can zoom you in here. So you see the heat light on right there? And I will set the temperature. I'll set the initial temperature at 100. Obviously the water's just above freezing, so this is going to take many hours before it's gonna heat up. Let's see what this says. It might be difficult to read for the sunlight there. Oh, there it is. It is at 100, right on. So that's what we'll leave it at. It's also telling me that the tub temperature is, what does it say, P? So that means that that it can't read the temperature. It's probably that low. So I can't really see what it says. Yeah, it looks like it just says P, which is basically a code that tells you it can't read the temperature of the water. But anyway, I'm going to let it run for a while. It's not leaking, and hopefully we'll start to warm up. So I did have a look at the temperature. It's at 64 right now, so it's going to take a long time to heat up, but that's okay. We got time. I also turned off the air. Can you see that here? Here. This lever here controls the air, and fully to the left here is air off. If you turned it fully to the right, that would open up the air and you'd have air shooting out the jets. Problem is that air would be shooting through at, you know, the outside air temperature, which is very cold. So when you do that, your temperature really cools down a lot, especially on a cold day like today. So I've turned the air off. I just wanted to show you what I think is a really neat feature on this tub, and that's these latches. See, they have a combination lock on them. So it shows you how to set the combination, and then you can lock them up. You remember those straps that we set down underneath the tub? Well, when the combination is right, which I don't think it is right now, you can lock them in, and that way, if you don't know the combination, you don't get into the tub. Here, I'll show you this one, which I know is on the right combination. Can you see it all right? Right there. So this one, if you wanted to, you could, right now it's just set at 0. That's probably the factory setting for this one. If you want to, you can just change it. And you can't unlock it, see? Kind of neat. Okay, so she's all installed and running perfectly. It's heating up. It is up to, let's see what we got here, 57 degrees now. It's going to take a long time to get up to working temperature, but that's okay, we got time. And overall review, I think it's fantastic. I mean, you need one tool to install this thing, and I didn't actually use it. All you need is a flathead screwdriver. You need to install 3 clamps with that screwdriver, and that's it. The rest is just handling the thing and prepping it, and that's really easy because the thing is so light. Now again, I got it set up here just temporarily. See, I don't like how that wire goes across there, but we're just trying it out for this week because we're on March break and we got time to do this kind of stuff. And we'll see if we like it here, or maybe we'll move it down below, down there somewhere, or maybe we'll leave it here. Thing that I'm concerned about, I think I mentioned it before, is just kids sitting on that rail and falling over backwards. So for this weekend, we'll have a pretty strict rule about that, but if we decide to keep it up there, I may make some benches up there so people can sit and not worry about falling back. But overall, soft tub, so far, excellent product, exactly the way they advertised it. I mean, this is the soft tub 300. It's the biggest one they make. It's not huge. I mean, you 2 adults very comfortably in there. Once you get into the 3rd and 4th adult, you're getting a skin-and-skin contact type of thing. Any more than that, and you're pretty intimate. But, you know, kids splash around in there, a couple adults, a couple kids, you have a good time. So that's the point of this tub, and I think Soft Tub has done a great job of it. So thanks for joining me. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you buy a Soft Tub. They haven't paid me anything for this, so just doing this because I want to. Hope you learned something. Take care.